So recently I was introduced to this Reddit thread called Am I the Asshole? Where people go on and they write out these situations or scenarios that they've either been in or they're currently in, and they want to find out if they're being the asshole or the person they're dealing with is the asshole. For instance, this is one that I'm seeing right now. Am I the asshole for telling my wife that my mother will never love her and to stop trying? We're not going to do that one because that's an easy one. Yes, that's a fucking asshole thing to say. But we've picked out a couple of interesting ones, and we're going to find out who's the real asshole. What? We're going to find out who's the real asshole here. My boyfriend and I have been together for a few years now, and to this day we disagree on farting etiquette. He feels I should always go to the toilet and fart, but I think this is an unreasonable request. What the fuck? If every time I had to fart, I had to go do it in a toilet, I'd be 80 pounds. Because, listen, I can't burp, so it's got to come out of me. And it's coming out this ass. I always felt that it was normal to fart in the privacy of your own home. It's not like I do so in front of company or in public or in front of his family, etc. But if we're at home and I need to rip one, I just let it go. He hates this and insists that I go to the toilet and do that. Am I the asshole? I definitely think that your boyfriend is a bitch. People fart. It's just air coming out of holes, tight holes, so they make a funny sound. And who doesn't think that's funny, by the way? A fart is hilarious. Some stink, and it's less funny, but it's funny every time to me. It's insanely unreasonable to tell your girlfriend every time you fart, run to the bathroom and set it off into the bowl. That's just insane. Even though I do like toilet bowl farts. They get in there and they kind of just like, it muffles it a little bit and it's just like, scum, and then you fucking, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of dope. But this kid needs to get over it. If you have a problem with the sound of farting, just grip the side of your ass and open up that hole. It'll come out like, lickety split. Whew. And then we won't have this problem. If I was this girl, honestly, I'd probably just fart in his fucking face and see how he deals with that. You gotta break up with this kid. I don't know if I could live in a house where I can't just fart. It's my house. I'm paying to live here. I'm gonna fart it up. Your boyfriend's the asshole. Dump him. My girlfriend and I have been dating for 5 years. I don't have any social media. I'm a private guy. My girlfriend, on the other hand, is obsessed with Instagram and is constantly scrolling every waking moment. She'd rather spend time seeking attention from her 5,000 plus followers than spend quality time with me. She has said she will work on this problem, but nothing has changed. Last week, she was using my laptop and forgot to log out of her email. I figured out how to change her Instagram password and log in, and I permanently deleted her page. She woke up the next morning and was screaming and crying and that I betrayed her trust and deleted her account instead of deactivating it. Now she won't talk to me. I think she's being incredibly childish and throwing a tantrum over a random app. Am I the asshole? Yeah, dude. That's kind of a wild thing to do. That would be like, if every girlfriend who complained about their boyfriend playing video games, they just threw it out the fucking window or slammed it with a sledgehammer. You'd be like, what the fuck is this crazy bitch doing? This is an asshole-ish way to kind of deal with an issue that could have probably been resolved with some chatter. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you guys could have talked this out and worked this out. I don't know about deleting the account, but she's throwing a tantrum because you deleted the account, but to me, you kind of threw a tantrum when you deleted the account. That seems like an overreaction to this problem. Maybe you guys are great for each other. It's very dramatic over there. It sounds like you guys are gonna do great. Get married. Have kids. That'll fix it. My wife and her family had a 5-day-long vacation in July. I happened to have a work trip the same week as the vacation, but it was only 2 days long, so I technically could have gone to the last few days of the vacation. Here's the thing about my wife's family. They're very rowdy. They yell to communicate, get drunk together, have no respect for each other's privacy. This sounds fucking awesome. And ask very invasive questions. For example, on our wedding day, my father-in-law asked me if I had been practicing my moves for the wedding night and if I needed any advice. Oh my God! Can you imagine your wife's dad going, listen, do you know how to fuck? Because I want to know that you're going to fuck my daughter correctly and I could give you some pointers. I'd be like, what are you saying, guy? Get the fuck out of here. I decided to fib to my wife and I told her that my work trip was 4 days long instead of 2 and that it wouldn't make sense for me to travel to the Airbnb to stay for only 1 day. My wife agreed to this, so I went to the work trip and secretly enjoyed a few days of peace and quiet at our house while my wife was with her family. A few weeks later, we were out to drinks with coworkers and she found out the work trip was only 2 days long. After my coworkers left, my wife started yelling at me, saying that I was a major asshole. She called her parents and they sent me angry messages saying they couldn't believe I lied to my wife to avoid a vacation with them. Am I the asshole for lying to my wife about the length of my work trip even though I know she wouldn't allow me to skip the family vacation? I don't know if this makes you an asshole as much as it makes you just like a puss. Like it's your wife. You should be able to be like, yo, your dad is a fucking weirdo who wants to make sure that, like, he wants to show me moves to fuck you with. Like, what the hell? Or just put your foot down and be like, I have this work trip. I'd rather just spend a few days by myself. I haven't done that in a while. This is what I want to do. I'm sure there'll be more family vacations that you can attend. And if she's not oblivious, she probably knows that you don't really get along with these types of people because you seem like a more reserved guy. Just talk to it's your wife. Just talk to her. The cat's out of the bag now, by the way. This family that's very rowdy and asks weird questions or whatever, now they know you don't like them. Enjoy Christmas because it's going to get fucking crazy from here on out. But yeah, I think that, you're entitled sometimes to alone time. You don't have to go to every single thing. You can communicate, listen, I'd rather just have a few days to me. I don't want to make the extra travel. Communication, people, please. My boyfriend is really protective over his furniture. What? What the fuck does that mean? I assume it's because most of it is white. So whenever I'm on my period, my boyfriend does humiliating things like placing sheets on all the chairs and what? So whenever I'm on my period, my boyfriend does humiliating things like placing sheets on all of the chairs and lounges and makes me sleep in the guest bedroom on the first 2 days of my period. And then he even asked me about when was the last time I changed my tampon. I'm not even allowed to cuddle him during my period. What is this person? Who is this person and how is he? And why and how and what? I started my period yesterday, and as I expected, the sheets come out. I decided to put my foot down, and I take all the sheets off the furniture, which got my boyfriend irritated. He's saying I have no right to prevent him from keeping his expensive furniture clean, and that I'm the one that's acting like a jerk. I need to know, am I the asshole? Your boyfriend's a fucking psychopath. I wouldn't even let this dude touch your vagina ever again. I'd be like, dude, I can't sit on your couch. I'm wearing pants. I have basically a Q-tip shoved inside of me. And it's collecting all of the blood that may or may not be flowing out of me. I'm going to sit on the couch. I'm going to sit on the couch. And if you can't deal with that, then you can't see it or touch it ever again. Unless she's a nudist who enjoys free bleeding, then I don't think you need to do this. Who is going to side with this guy? Be like, yeah, it's really not nice. You shouldn't cuddle him. Go sleep in the guest bedroom. I can't believe you're still with this guy. This is insanity. If I'm these two women, the one with the farting and this, like before I leave, I'm taking a shit in the middle of the living room and then breaking up with you and leaving and then farting on my way out. And then this one, I may fucking hold my vagina open and just bleed all over the mattress. Something. And then right on the walls, like, here you go, you piece of shit, and then leave. Before we get to the rest of this video, I do have some sponsors that I want to tell you about, and the first one is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a fun game that you can play this upcoming football season, but you could do it for any sport. You could play it right now, and you can win up to 25 times your money. It's really simple. You can submit your entry in under 60 seconds if you're quick with it, but it just works on projection. So this football season, for instance, is when I usually like to play, but they'll say, okay, Aaron Rodgers, is he going to have over 250 passing yards this game this week? And you could say yes or you could say no, and then you do that 2 to 6 times or something like that, and you can win up to 25 times your money. But it's not just exclusive to the NFL. They have NBA, they have hockey, they have college sports, they have F1, they have a ton of stuff. It's very easy to understand also, so if you're if this is your first time playing it, it's not really that hard to understand. And if you're good at it, you could really profit from it. Go to prizepicks.com/Santagato and use the code Santagato for a deposit match up to $100. And if you're asking what a deposit match is, that's just whatever amount of money you put in up to $100, they will match. So if you put in $70, they'll put in $70. You put in $100, they'll put in $100. So go to prizepicks.com/Santagato and use the code Santagato for that deposit match up to $100. Go have fun. Also, I want to talk to you guys about DoorDash's Dash Pass. I'm talking to you students out there who are going back to school soon. You're not going to have a lot of time to go get your groceries or to make meals or anything like that, and DoorDash is going to help you out. When you get the Dash Pass, you are getting unlimited free deliveries with DoorDash. Listen, I get it. You're going back to school. You want to save some money, so the best way to do that, get that Dash Pass. It's only $4.99 for students, and you get unlimited free deliveries on DoorDash. How worth it? So worth it. Not only that, but for a limited time, you'll get 50% off up to $10 on your next order of $15 or more when you sign up for the Dash Pass student plan and enter the code JOE. That is 50% off up to $10 on your next order of $15 or more when you sign up for the Dash Pass student plan when you enter the code Joe, okay? Don't forget, the code is Joe for 50% when you sign up for the Dash Pass student plan, okay? Subject to change, terms apply. But don't make a mistake here. Don't keep paying for those delivery fees. Sign up for that Dash Pass, $4.99 for students. Enjoy the savings. I live in an apartment unit at uni with 3 of my friends. We get along just fine except for one dude who does absolutely disgusting things. He thinks it's funny or cool to pin his used condoms on a bulletin. What? Excuse me? I'm going to finish reading this, but 2 questions. Why are you pinning your used condoms to a bulletin board? And my next question, why is there a bulletin board inside of your home? What the fuck? This isn't a 3rd grade classroom. It's a home. He thinks it's funny or cool to pin his used condoms on a bulletin board to show off all the times he's fucked. I've asked him a million times to take it down or to put it in his own damn room, but he leaves it up in the main living area for everyone to see. In his defense, he washes the condoms, cleans, and dries them. In his defense, washing, cleaning, and drying a condom is worthy of jail time. In his defense, he does clean them. I don't give a fuck. If anything, that's crazier. He's in your kitchen cleaning out his own condoms. It's weird. The bulletin board itself is really big and really expensive. Why? Why do you need a big, expensive bulletin board? Is there going to be a student of the month? Is there a school dance that we need to know about? We're going to pin it up there. Why do you have a bulletin board in your living room? There are 6 condoms in total on the board. Only 6? Like, I thought this guy was going to have fucking, he's had sex 6 times. Not really something to brag about. Yesterday, a girl I've been talking to asked to come study with me at my place and watch a movie afterward. I was super duper excited, and before she came, I hid the body count board. Later that night, when she came over, the board was back on the wall and she saw it. She looked really uncomfortable and she asked what it was. The rest of the night was awkward and she didn't even want to stay to watch a movie. I took the bulletin board down after she left, smashed it into small pieces, and threw it in the dumpster behind our building. My roommate asked me where the board was today and I told him exactly what I did with it. I do feel bad for reacting that way, but I was angry and the body count board was bound to be thrown out one way or another. Am I the asshole? You may be an asshole for even asking that question, honestly. There's a bulletin board with used condoms in your living room. The only appropriate thing to do is to buy a gun and unload it against this bulletin board until it turns into dust. What would you tell people that come over? Your parents are going to visit you eventually, and you'd be like, oh yeah, that's our roommate. He's had sex 6 times. So, but don't worry. There's no jizz in them. He was in our kitchen cleaning them out. By the way, who's hungry? Like, there's a person living in the house cleaning condoms in the sink. And I'm pretty certain this person's going to end up on an FBI watch list. You don't wash out condoms and pin them up on the wall without eventually killing someone down the line. I think that's the evolution. First it starts off that like when you were younger, you like punched a kitten in the face. Then you started pinning condoms on the wall, and then you cut some girl's head off in like Ohio or something. That's what happens. That's the timeline. So you might want to move out. I have a female coworker who repeatedly calls me out regarding my weight. I'm female, 5'9", 115 pounds, and very thin. She is very overweight. All the time she makes comments about my weight. She calls me slim and toothpick and says, you need to eat. Yesterday, I asked her to stop calling me slim again, and she basically said it's her mouth and she could say what she wants. I feel like I know how this is going to end. It's like, all right, you fat bitch! Today, when she said morning slim, I replied morning chunky. There it is! It could have been so much worse than chunky. And she got upset and started crying. Everybody here at work is saying I'm wrong and I should apologize because being called fat is different than being called skinny, because being called skinny is a compliment. I said, as long as she calls me slim, I will call her chunky. Am I the asshole if I don't apologize? Not at all! Listen. Body positivity movement, all this shit, whatever, it goes both ways. You shouldn't be commenting on people's appearance, especially their weight, in any sort of way, because you don't know. A lot of people have eating disorders that are either not fucking diagnosed or that they don't want anyone to fucking know about. So if someone's super thin, maybe they're struggling with something. If someone's super overweight, maybe they're struggling with something. And then here comes you, fee-fi-fo-fum, you little skinny bitch. Good morning. Ruined her day. So if she's going to throw it back to you, you can't really cry, okay? You can't do that. Both of these are a little fucked, all right? Don't call someone slim unless it's Eminem because he chose that name. And don't call someone chunky unless they're a really good salsa. I'm a guy and live with my childhood best friend who is also a guy. Up until last week, things were perfect between us. Is this gonna get gay? However, he recently got a new girlfriend, and she seems great except for one thing. She has a complete aversion to knocking. She and I have quite a lot in common, and I actually like spending time with her. However, it bugs the hell out of me when she always barges into my room without knocking first. I absolutely fucking hate this. This is driving me nuts already. On at least 7 separate occasions now, she's come in without knocking first thing in the morning to ask if I want coffee. I sleep naked. I've always been under the covers and she hasn't seen anything. I always point out that she could have, and she just giggles and says, but I didn't. When she stayed over last week, in order to make my point, I intentionally slept on top of the covers. Sure enough, she barges in at 7 a.m., begins to ask if I want coffee, and sees my you-know-what. Dude, just say dick. She doesn't care. Like, who gives a fuck? She immediately backed out of the room and didn't speak to me for the rest of the day. My mate pulled me aside and said I was bang out of order. Oh, these are a couple of fucking Brits, I see. I was bang out of order. They're now framing this to others that I'm some sick creep who intentionally got naked and lay in wait of her because that's how I get my rocks off. And I'm kind of seeing how it came off that way. Am I the asshole for doing this? I mean, I don't think so. I think that you shouldn't have admitted that you did it on purpose, you know? People not knocking, especially on bedroom doors, is insanity. I won't even go into my friends' bedrooms without them, like, taking me in there. Like, I'm just gonna walk into a bedroom like, oh, this is where you do everything, huh? And I'm gonna walk around in there with my shoes on? No. You know what you could have done to teach her a lesson? You could have just stood in front of your door and woke up really early with a pie in your hand. And then as soon as she opens the door, you smash her in the face with the pie and then you close it. That's one way to do it. Or you could just lock your fucking door. What happened to that? My sister-in-law always comes to visit from out of town. She stays with us instead of a hotel and always wants to go to expensive restaurants. She always conveniently forgets her wallet or comes up with some excuses as to why she can't pay for her share. She has implied that since I make so much more money than her, I should be the one to pay. She had made a reservation at an extremely expensive restaurant last night, and before we left, I made it clear I wouldn't be paying for her bill. As we were leaving, her and my husband went to the car. I pretended I forgot something and went back inside. I found her wallet sitting right on top of her suitcase. I put it in my purse, and we went to the restaurant. This is fucking genius. When we were done eating, I asked for a separate bill. She said, no, we need one bill because she forgot her wallet again. I reached in my purse and said, this wallet? I like this, but also it would have been better of being like, I got it, don't worry about it, and just pay with her card. That would be a cooler way to do it. She said that I should not have touched her property, so am I the asshole for taking her wallet and bringing it to the restaurant? Absolutely not. You are not the asshole. And like I said, the only change I would have made with this had been like, don't worry, sis, I got this. And I would have paid with her card. I think this is genius. Are you an asshole? No. I think you should be working for the government or NASA or one of these like very, the CIA maybe. This is a great strategy. I love this wallet. Fucking this one, bitch. God, I am like exhausted after that. I love this. All right, well, those are the only ones we're gonna do for now. If you guys wanna see a video like this again, let us know in the comments. And if you have a situation where you wanna know if you're the asshole or someone else, leave it in the comments. I'll go through them, we'll have some fun. Maybe we'll do this video again with the comments, I don't know. All right, so don't forget to subscribe and we'll see you guys next time.